Not just Benjamin Sesko. Man UTD have derailed Newcastle summer with Brentford and Wolves deals. Manchester United have had a busy summer on the transfer front. So far, Manchester United have enjoyed a pretty successful recruitment drive this summer. They have made some eye-catching signings, including forward trio Benjamin Sesko, Matheus Cunha, and Bryan Mbeumo. The Red Devils have the chance to bring in some more new faces before the end of the window. The market shuts on Monday, 1st September, at an earlier time than usual at 7 p.m. Ruben Amorim's side were beaten 1-0 at home by Arsenal in their first game of the new Premier League. They will be looking to bounce back with a win at Fulham in their next game. It has been a nightmare transfer window for United's rivals Newcastle United. Eddie Howe's side are in the Champions League but have struggled to attract players. They are now left scrambling around for players with less than 2 weeks to go before the market shuts. The Red Devils have beaten the Magpies to the signings of both Cunha and Mbeumo from Wolves and Brentford, respectively, as well as Sesko from RB Leipzig. To make matters worse, the Toon Army may now miss out on Jon Wissa, who the Bees want to keep, and Jorgen Strand Larsen, who isn't pushing to leave Wolves. With Mbeumo and Cunha already leaving their respective clubs, Brentford and Wolves are more resistant to losing Wissa and Larsen. The pair could stay where they are at this moment in time, which would be a further blow to the Northeast club United. Aren't in Europe anymore, but that hasn't stopped them from attracting some big names players. The fact they have managed to get the likes of Cunha, Mbeumo, and Sesko ahead of Newcastle shows they still have a massive pull and has significantly weakened their opponents. Amorim will be satisfied with the business that his team have done so far, and he still has the chance to get some more players through the door if needed. Newcastle are also facing a crisis regarding key striker Alexander Isak. He is pushing to leave and they will need to find a replacement. That won't be easy though, and they may need to fork out big money to try and replace his influence and goals. The Toon Army could have done with someone like Sesko up top to step into Isak's shoes. However, the attacker opted to join United instead. He scored 13 Bundesliga goals for RB Leipzig last term and will be looking to hit the ground running now in England. Sesko, 22, gives the Red Devils more competition and depth up top. Standing at 6'5" 5 Inc., he provides a different dimension to their forward options and should be a handful to opposition defenders. He came off the bench against Arsenal and gave their defenders Gabriel and William Saliba something different to think about. United have a nice blend of attacking players now in Sesko, Mbeumo, and Cunha. The latter played on the wing against the Gunners and can also operate down the middle if needed. As for Mbeumo, he looked sharp last time out and was unlucky not to get himself on the score sheet. Newcastle will look on at the Red Devils' dealings with envy as they try and figure out why they haven't been able to bring in the same caliber of players. The Magpies now face a race against the clock as they look to acquire the right characters. Other teams know they are getting desperate and could ramp up prices. And now when it comes to competing for European spots, United have not only strengthened their own ranks, but made it tough for a direct rival to do the same. Manchester United could be given unwanted $25 million transfer reminder as midfielder. Weight goes on United. Are in the market for a new midfielder and are about to face one they have been linked with in the past. Manchester United's transfer priority in the final 12 days of the window has never been clearer. Sign a new central midfielder. For all United's overall performance in the 1-0 defeat to Arsenal was positive, and they have spent north of $200 million on a dangerous new front three of Bryan Mbeumo, Matheus Cunha, and Benjamin Sesko. Their need for a new midfielder is glaringly obvious. It is no secret Ruben Amorim wants fresh energy to play alongside Captain Bruno Fernandes at the base of his midfield. And it is clear, despite starting on Sunday, 33-year-old Casemiro isn't that man. United made contact with Burnley over a possible deal for Sander Berge, and it is believed the former Sheffield United midfielder was keen on a move to Old Trafford. Despite the Claret's relegation from the Premier League, Burge had impressed in his only season at Turf Moor, and it was believed a $25 million move could have been struck. However, as it transpired, United signed Ugarte, and their interest in Burge was ended. He made the move to Fulham for $25 million instead, and he was at the heart of Marco Silva's side's positive campaign last season. Now, as United face up to a trip to Craven Cottage without their midfield issues resolved, the player they tried to sign last summer will be plotting their downfall in front of the Sky Sports cameras. United's Sancho situation. A reality. Check, let's not sugarcoat it. Manchester United are in a tough spot when it comes to Jadon Sancho. Reports suggest the club is pushing hard to finalize his exit, and it's easy to see why. Sancho has come to represent much of what's gone wrong with United's transfer policy in recent years. Think about it. $73 million for a player who never really settled, stirred up problems in the dressing room, and spent more time out on loan than making an impact at Old Trafford. Now, with the club coming off a shocking 15th place finish in the Premier League, and without any European football on offer, they simply can't afford to keep throwing money at players who aren't contributing. In fact, the mere suggestion that United are willing to help cover a signing bonus just to get Sancho off their books shows how desperate things have become. They're essentially paying to remove a headache. Not a great look for a club of this stature. Interest from elsewhere. A glimmer of hope? Roma might be leading the charge, but they're not alone. There's been murmurs of interest from Besiktas, and even clubs in the Saudi Pro League are sniffing around. That kind of competition could actually work in United's favor. For Sancho, it means he has options. For Roma, it adds pressure to wrap things up quickly. And for United, it could finally mean finding a suitor willing to take him off their hands. Because, let's face it, keeping an unhappy player around for another year helps no one. Where do you think Sancho fits best? A fresh start in Italy, a challenge in Turkey, or the money and exposure of Saudi Arabia? Lessons in strategy. Turning. A new page? This whole saga is a pretty clear reflection of how different United's approach to transfers has become since Ineos took charge of football operations. The contrast is striking. Despite the disastrous league finish, United managed to bring in players like Matheus Cunha, Brian Mbeumo, and Benjamin Šeško, all of whom are reportedly thrilled to be at the club. Compare that to Sancho, who wants out but won't accept terms to make it happen. It's obvious now. United aren't just chasing big names anymore. They're looking for players with the right mindset, professionals who want to fight for the shirt. What's next? If the Roma deal happens, it could mark a turning point.